Hey, welcome to the podcast. This is the Surge Effect, and this podcast, well, it'll probably have an effect on you.
Well, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Surge Effect. In this episode of the Surge Effect, we are going to be talking about UFOs and what is going on in our skies. And we are going to show you some clips on UFOs. We're going to show you a few clips on congressional hearings that occurred. There's been 3 congressional hearings actually in the last probably 5-6 years, probably more than has ever happened probably in the last 60 or 70, because slowly disclosure is coming out, and it's more and more prevalent if you look up in the skies. Before we get started, I always like to talk about our sponsors. First sponsor is Love My Legs Owen Sound Grey Bruce. Click on the link below, head on over to their website on Facebook and check out all the leggings that they have to offer. Number 2 is He Shirts, She Shirts Plus. Head on over to their Facebook page as well as their website. Check out all the things that they have. They're more than just another t-shirt company. They have all kinds of new laser products, hence the plus. He Shirts, She Shirts Plus. Go check them out. 2 things I also like to throw in there. I'm going to throw in a book by one of the guys I'm going to be showing here in a little while. His name's Lou Elizondo, or Louis Elizondo. He has a book called Inside the Pentagon, Hunt for the UFOs. He's a former head of the Pentagon program investigating UAPs, or UFOs. Unidentified aerial phenomena is what they call it now. Next one is an 80 by 100 Monocular-Telescope. It's a high-powered, you can use your smartphone with it. This is a monocular. It's for, it's adults, of course, high-definition binocular telescope for stargazing or hunting or bird watching, whatever you like. So click on the link below, head on over to Amazon, and grab yours today. All right, so let's get into it and see where this takes us. So first off, I wanted to just explain a little bit about our universe. So here we go. So infinite or not, scientists don't know if the universe is infinite, but what we can see, the observable universe, is about 9th Earth-like, increasing the potential for life as we know it. The ingredients for life are common. The building blocks of life, water, carbon, organic molecules are all found throughout the universe, and complex molecules have been detected on comets, moons, and even in interstellar space. You can also go by the Drake equation. The Drake equation is a scientific formula used to estimate the number of intelligent civilizations in our galaxy. While many of the variables are uncertain, the equation highlights that even modest possibilities can yield significant results due to the vast number of the stars and planets. Microbial life is more likely, while intelligent life may be rare. Microbial life, like bacteria, could be far more common. Places like Mars or Europa, or it's a moon in Jupiter, and a moon on Saturn show signs of having conditions that could support simple life forms. The Fermi paradox, another thing to think about. The Fermi paradox highlights the contradiction that the universe seems ripe for life, yet we haven't found conclusive evidence possible because the intelligent life is rare or short-lived, and advanced civilizations are avoiding us, are too far away to detect. Goes on and on, but whether you believe in life out there or not, it's totally up to yourself. Stuff that you've read, stuff that you've been educated on, brings up your idea of what you believe or what you not to believe to be true. I know a lot of stuff that I've read over the years, books that I've read about different things that's going on. I'm just too curious of a fellow to believe that there's nothing out there. So I'm going to show you a clip here from one of the congressional hearings on UAPs, or aerial phenomenon, unidentified aerial phenomenon. I like to call them UFOs still. this is Commander Fravor. Now, Commander Fravor, he is the fellow that was flying when they found the Tic Tac video, the famous Tic Tac video. So Commander Fravor is talking about the UFO traveling from 60,000 feet to 50 feet. So basically from 60,000 feet to 50 feet in a second. So if you can do all the calculations and figure that out, it's basically 40,000 miles an hour, ballpark, give or take. You can go on and figure it out yourself. But let's hear what Commander Fravor has to say, and we'll go from there.
I want to first thank you for the invitation to speak to the committee on the UAP topic that's been in the news for the past 6 years and seems to be continuing to gain momentum. As you know, my name is David Fravor. I'm a retired commander in the United States Navy. In 2004, I was a commanding officer of Strike Fighter Squadron 41, the world-famous Black Aces. We were attached to Carrier Wing 11, stationed on board the USS Nimitz, and had begun a 2-month workup cycle off the coast of California. On this day, we were scheduled for a 2v2 air-to-air training with the USS Princeton as our control. When we launched off Nimitz, my wingman was joining up. We were told that the training was going to be suspended and we were going to proceed with real-world tasking. As we proceeded to the west, the air controller was counting down the range to an object that we were going to, and we were unaware of what we were going to see when we arrived. The controller had told us that these objects had been observed for over 2 weeks, coming down from over 80,000 feet, rapidly descending to 20,000 feet, hanging out for hours, and then going straight back up. For those who don't realize, above 80,000 feet is space. We arrived at the location at approximately 20,000 feet, and the controller called merge plot, which means that our radar blip was now in the same resolution cell as the contact. As we looked around, we noticed that we saw some whitewater off our right side. It's important to note that the weather on this day was as close to perfect as you could ask for off the coast of San Diego. Clear skies, light winds, calm seas, no whitecaps from waves. So the whitewater stood out in a large blue ocean. All four of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down saw a white Tic Tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wings. As we started clockwise towards the object, my Wizzo and I decided to go down and take a closer look with the other aircraft staying in high cover to observe both us and the Tic Tac. We proceeded around the circle about 90 degrees from the start of our descent, and the object suddenly shifted its longitudinal axis, aligned it with my aircraft, and began to climb. We continued down another 270 degrees, nose low, where the Tic Tac, or we considered 270 degrees to where, and we went nose low to where the Tic Tac would have been. Our altitude at this point was about 15,000 feet, and the Tic Tac was about 12,000. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingmen, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the whitewater was at, and it was gone also. So as we started to turn back towards the east, the controller came up and said, "Sir, you're not going to believe this, but that thing is at your cat point, roughly 60 miles away in less than a minute." You can calculate the speed. We returned to Nimitz. We were taking off our gear. We were talking to one of my crews that was getting ready to launch. We mentioned it to them, and they went out and luckily got the video that you see, that 90-second video. What you don't see is the radar tape that was never released, and we don't know where it's at, of the active jamming that the object put on an APG-73 radar, and I can get into modes later if you're interested. What is shocking to us is that the incident was never investigated. None of my crew were ever questioned. Tapes were never taken, and after a couple days, it turned into a great story with friends. It wasn't until 2009 until Jay Stratton had contacted me to investigate. Unbeknownst to all, he was part of the ATIP program in the Pentagon led by Lou Elizondo. And there was an unofficial official report that came out that's now on the internet. Years later, I was contacted by the other pilot, Alex Dietrich, and asked if I'd been contacted, and I said no, but I'm willing to talk. I was contacted by Mr. Elizondo, and we talked for a short period of time, and he said we'd be in contact. A few weeks after that, I was made aware that Lou had left the Pentagon in protest and joined forces with Tom DeLonge, Chris Mellon, Steve Justice, and others to form Two Stars Academy, an organization that pressed the issue with leading industry experts and U.S. government officials. They worked with Leslie Kean, who is present today, Ralph Blumenthal, and Helene Cooper to publish the articles in the New York Times 2017 New York Times. And it removed the stigma on the topic of UFOs, which is why we're here today. Those articles open the door for the government and public that cannot be closed. It has led to an interest from our elected officials who are not focused on little green men, but figuring out where these craft are, where they're from, the technology they possess, how do they operate. It also led to the Whistleblower Protection Act and the NDAA. There are multiple witnesses coming forward to say that have firsthand knowledge, and Mr. Grush just covered that. What concerns me is that there's no oversight from our elected officials on anything associated with our government processing or working on craft. Believe it not, from this world. This issue is not a full public disclosure that could undermine national security, but it is about ensuring that our system of checks and balances works across all work done in the government using taxpayer funds. Relative to government programs, even unacknowledged WAVE programs have some level of oversight by the appropriate committee members in the House and Senate, and this work that is said to be occurring from whistleblower testimonies should not be exempt. In closing, I would like to say that the Tic Tac object we engaged in 2004 was far superior to anything that we had on time, have today, or are looking to develop in the next 10 years. If we in fact have programs that possess this technology, it needs to have oversight from those people that the citizens of this great country elected in office to represent what is best for the United States and best for the citizens. I thank you for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I know it's
All right, so that was Commander Fravor's testimony at one of the hearings, and he's talking about the Tic Tac video. And I'm going to show you that Tic Tac video right now. If you've never seen it, these are the reasons why I'm curious. Because this thing went from, like I said earlier, 50,000 or 60,000 feet, and Fravor said the same thing, to 50 feet off the top of the water in a second, which is over 40,000 miles an hour. Nothing that we have, I believe, can go that fast. It's kind of breaking the laws of physics as we know them. But here we go.
Have a look on the ASA. My gosh. They're all going against the wind. The wind's 120 knots from the west. Look at that thing, dude. That's not our LNS though, is it? It's not. That is an LNS, dude. Well, if there's like... Look at that thing! It's rotating.
Echo 6-1 Tango Project, over.
Oh, got it! Woohoo!
Roger, there's troubleshooting
Did you box moving target?
602.
No, I took an auto track. Oh, okay. Oh my gosh, dude. Wow, look at that, man. Look at it fly.
Wild. Just wild. There's no other word for it. When you see stuff like that, and you kind of go, well, what is that? Why is it moving so fast? Why does it have no heat signature? Why is it not cold? Why is it not hot? What's the mode of propulsion? Just so many questions. So many questions. So here's a few more videos that were released by the United States Navy. So here's one here that was filmed above the water, because now they're thinking that these UAPs or UFOs are going under the water and can travel at like 500, 600, 700 miles an hour underwater, which is mind-blowing. But just watch these videos and comment below on some of them. Let me know what you think. But here's one here.
took off, booking it.
Break Omaha, pick me a kid, Rafael Peralta, pass ability to launch Hilo ASAP.
Splashing your bearing ring. Sure.
Got 2 winds, 30 knots.
Keep going, bro. Let's go down.
We're making 10s. We could probably bring down 35 relative.
Windy as fuck up, huh?
Sir.
Yeah, I'll bring it down.
We got a lot of white water out there, some 6-foot swells.
Whoa, it's getting close.
Yeah, we have 31 knots sustained wind, topside, gust of 40.
Whoa, splashed. Splashed. Mark bearing and range.
So there you go. So this thing splashed down in the water. It was hovering there for a while and then splashed down. Wild. So here's another one that was just released, and this they called the jellyfish UFO. Kind of bizarre. And this was in, I believe, Iraq or Afghanistan.
On January 9th, 2024, a new UFO video suddenly surfaced online and rapidly got internet attention. In the footage shared by Jeremy Cornell, we can see that the object is not shaped like the regular UFOs that we are used to. It has such a weird shape that it was nicknamed the jellyfish UFO. In the footage, which is captured through a military thermal camera, we can see the object hovering over the skies in a linear pattern. But what really makes things odd is that the jellyfish keeps changing its own temperature in a matter of seconds. Take a look at the dogs in the background as a reference. They are displayed in black, which means they are hot. However, the hovering object's color keeps changing between white and black, cold and hot, respectively.
Very strange. Like, these are the things that make me curious. Very strange. Here's another video released from the Pentagon and another UFO.
You'll see it come through the top of the screen. There it goes. And then the camera will slew to follow it.
This newly declassified U.S. government video of a UAP, or Unidentified Anomalous Phenomenon, was filmed by a military drone in the Middle East in 2022. UAPs are more commonly known as UFOs.
This is essentially all of the data we have associated with this event from some years ago. That is an unresolved case we are still studying.
The director of Pentagon's new All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, the AARO, shared the video during a U.S. Senate committee hearing.
How many are still left to be resolved? Just an update from your January public report where it was 366 or something, and about 150 were balloons and about 24 were drones.
We are tracking over a total of 650 cases.
650 cases. Whoa. It's wild. Anyway, so this is, next couple here are going to be, this is Lou Elizondo being questioned by Mr. Burchett, one of the congressmen, in the senatorial hearing here for the UAPs, the UFOs. And then I have one right after that of Miss Mace. And then I have a bunch of compilations for you right after that. So here we go.
Mr. Elizondo, what is your last position with the federal government?
Sir, I was the Director of National Program Special Management Staff, managing a White House Special Access Program on behalf of the National Security Council.
How would you characterize UAPs?
An enigma, sir, and a frustration. We're talking about technologies that can outperform anything we have in our inventory. And if this was an adversarial technology, this would be an intelligence failure eclipsing that of 9/11 by an order of magnitude.
Are there classified Department of Defense materials related to UAPs that you believe could be safely disclosed to the public without compromising national security?
Yes, sir, I do. I would never, ever try to endorse providing some sort of information that could compromise what we call a blue force technology or capability. But I do believe there's a lot of information regarding this topic, and I've been very vocal about it, that should be shared not only with the public, but most importantly, with members of Congress.
Are you familiar with my friend David Grush?
Absolutely, sir. I had the privilege and honor of working with him myself several years ago at U.S. Space Force.
Last year, as you know, he testified that the U.S. has run a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Are there UAP programs operating without proper congressional oversight?
100%.
What are they?
Unfortunately, sir, I would have to have that conversation in a closed session.
I know you said that, and a lot of people are frustrated with those kind of answers, but we're asking those kind of questions so you all know what the heck we're up against. You also mentioned in your opening statement that the Pentagon's Public Affairs Office employs a psychological operations officer as the singular point of contact for UAP-related inquiries. Why the heck would they do that?
Sir, that's a great question. I would ask the Pentagon. There's a long history here of that individual providing misleading and false information to the public through various news outlets and media outlets in order to discredit this topic. I've personally been victim to it. We have the documentation to substantiate where this information has been absolutely inaccurate, that has been provided time and time again, and it turns out that that individual was also working with former leadership of AARO at the time as well.
And we punish them by giving...
Okay, so there's Lou Elizondo. That's his just being questioned. And this is...
and good morning.
This is Mrs. Mace. and she's doing some questioning here as well. Quite interesting, some of the answers. So here we go.
Morning to our witnesses who are testifying today. I want to thank each of you for being here to discuss a topic of grave importance to our national security. Earlier this year, a Chinese spy balloon was shot down off the coast of my home state of South Carolina. Since the Roswell incident in 1947, many Americans have wondered about the dangers of unknown objects crisscrossing our skies. Whether these are UAPs or weather phenomena, advanced technology from American, allied, or enemy forces, or something more out of this world. So my first question, I have several questions, and if we can just be quick on these first two, I'm going to ask each of you the same question, and then I'll get to each of you individually. The first one, when you reported your experiences with a UAP, did any of you face any repercussions with your superiors, yes or no?
No.
No. I've actually never seen anything personally, believe it or not. So.
All right. And then do you believe there's an active disinformation campaign within our government to deny existence of UAPs, yes or no?
I don't have an answer to that.
As previously stated publicly, yes.
I think previously with like Project Blue Book, yes, but currently I don't speak for the United States government.
Okay, thank you. I have a few questions for Mr. Graves. What percentage of UAP sightings, in your belief, go unreported by our pilots?
This is an approximation based off of my personal experience speaking with a number of pilots, but I would estimate we're somewhere near 5% reporting, perhaps.
So like 95% basically don't report seeing UAPs?
That's just my personal estimate.
In the incident off Virginia Beach, do you believe the Navy took the danger to your aircraft seriously after it was reported?
Absolutely.
A few questions for Mr. Favor. As an expert naval aviator, have you ever seen an object that looked and moved like the Tic Tac UAP?
No.
Did the Tic Tac UAP move in such a way that defied the laws of physics?
The way we understand them, yes.
Many dismiss UAP reports as classified weapons testing by our own government, but in your experience as a pilot, does our government typically test advanced weapon systems right next to multi-million-dollar jets without informing our pilots?
No, we have test ranges for that.
It took over 15 years for your encounter with the Tic Tac to be declassified. Do you feel there was a good reason to prevent lawmakers from having access to this footage?
No, I just think it was ignored when it happened, and it just sat somewhere in a file. Never got reported.
In a drawer. It happens a lot up here. Shocker. Mr. Grush, a couple of questions for you too, sir, this morning. What percentage of UAPs do you feel are adequately investigated by the U.S. government, of the 5% that are reported?
I can only speak for my personal leadership over at NGA. I tried to look at every report that came through that I could triage. So.
Do you believe that officials at the highest levels of our national security apparatus have unlawfully withheld information from Congress and subverted our oversight authority?
There are certain elected leaders that had more information that I'm not sure what they've shared with certain Gang of Eight members or et cetera, but certainly I would not be surprised.
Okay. You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. So, and you may or may not be able to answer my last question, and maybe we get into a skiff at the next hearing that we have, but who in the government, either what agency, sub-agency, what contractors, who should be called into the next hearing about UAPs, either in a public setting or even in a private setting? And you probably can't name names, but what agencies or organizations, contractors, et cetera, do we need to call in to get these questions answered, whether it's about funding, what programs are happening, and what's out there?
I can give you a specific cooperative and hostile witness list of specific individuals that were in those.
And how soon can we get that list?
I'm happy to provide that to you after the hearing.
Super.
All right, so there's Mrs. Mace asking a bunch of questions to Grush and a few of the others. So before I get into the next clip, just wanted to mention, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think so far. Do you believe, do you not believe from the videos you just seen as well, let me know. So here's another compilation, a bunch of videos that I put together, and I might comment as I go, but people that are listening on Spotify or any of the other podcast apps, this is just a video that I'm showing. I'll be showing on YouTube and on Rumble. But I might pipe in, but I don't like to pipe in too much because it gets kind of boring listening to me chat. So anyway, here we go. Leave comments below. Let me know what you think of some of these UFOs. Like, what the hell is that in Arizona? Someone here in Florida using a laser pointer on an orb. No wings, no fins. Indonesia. Not sure what those orbs are doing, but they're pretty bright. This is in Baghdad, 2006. It does look like a plane. the window of the ship. You'll see a close-up here shortly. This was taken in 2007 in Turkey. 2007, 2008. Zoomed in far enough to pick up two little beams in the window. It's crazy. Now, this is the original Tic Tac video without the heat signature. This is the actual video of what the pilot saw flying through the air. And you see it tip on its side. Like, this thing's flying like big time fast. It's crazy. Mexico, I believe the military was doing a infrared viewing about drug cartels and smuggling drugs and stuff like that. And that's what they see. On infrared. Done by Arizona, Mexico. This is in Utah, 2024. In this day and age, they think that people can't handle the truth. They think that people can't handle the truth in regards to UFOs or UAPs, whatever you want to call it. Are there other life forms out there? Are they contacting us? Or are there people or aliens that live here? They've lived here on Earth for thousands of years, for millennia, and they live in the water. Good place to hide, right? Anyway, questions. Any comments? Drop them down below. Let me know what you think. People always have a pro or a con in regards to UFOs and what they believe, what they see. And when they see a video, they'll go, "Oh, that's just this," or "That's a balloon," or "That's a reflection off of this." But some of these things can't be explained, like Commander Fravor, his story at the senatorial hearing or congressional hearing, and talking about the Tic Tac video, and just absolutely fascinating. Anyway, listen, that's it for today's podcast. It's a little over 30 minutes, long enough for today. I'm going to sign off. But before I sign off, I always like to say that everybody has something going on in their life. Everyone. But what my message to you is, always, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. There's nothing for you back there. You got to keep moving forward. That's just the way life is. Life's tough, and no one said it was going to be easy. All right? Do that, and you'll be in a better place. Until next time, everyone, thanks for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for sharing my channel. Much appreciated. Thanks for all the watches. Thanks for all the likes. Spread it around to people who maybe haven't seen it yet. But once again, thanks again for viewing. And until next time, everyone, cheers.